Yo, what's up, Maine? MikeDecIsHere. You guys might know me from Smogon, you might know me from my own channel, you might actually also know me from the tutorial video that I help with Shofu. I'm bringing you guys a test narration to see if you like my narrating style, hopefully to be a permanent director on this channel. This is a 5th Gen OU battle that I have against Cote. It's his only serious 5th Gen OU team he's ever made. He said he's never going to play it again after this, but I was like, okay, why not? I'll play you. Because he's a pretty good buddy of mine, and we have pretty good battles every now and then. And he actually has a pretty standard team, which I was surprised about. When he said serious, I wasn't expecting so standard. He does have Sand against Sun, so I figured he's going to lead off with the Tyranitar to get his Sand up and basically try to Pursuit Trap my Ninetales if he can. I am going to lead off with Terrakion to try to get my offensive momentum, predicting the T-Tar to be in. And yeah, he's actually going to lead off with Rotom, I guess, predicting my Ninetales so he can fire off a Hydro Pump. Thinking he might be Scarfed. Don't want to risk it, just going to switch right out to Venusaur, and the fact that he stayed in makes me believe that he is actually Scarfed, otherwise he would have gotten dominated by a Choice Band close combat. I am going to just fire off an Energy Ball, just wanted to see what he wants to switch into my Venusaur. It ends up doing an unbelievable amount of damage. Like, I was surprised this did that much damage. Ends up being a clean 2 KO, which means that this Tyranitar is not specially defensive. It's probably some offensive variant. I'm thinking, I don't think Scarf at this point. I actually don't know. I don't think it's Banned, though, because Banned usually has some HP investment. But going to switch out to Terrakion, predicting the Crunch. Ends up going out to Skarmory. That's fine with me. I can fire off a Choice Band to close combat, which will easily be a 2 KO on the Skarmory. He sets up his rocks, and realizing that he will get absolutely dominated by the Terrakion, he's going to switch out to his Jellicent. I'm predicting that he's going to go out to his Jellicent as well, so I'm going to actually pull a double switch into my Venusaur. And yeah, this Jellicent is now, he's in an unfavorable position. I'm actually predicting him to switch out into maybe a Skarmory again, predicting Energy Ball. So I'm just going to go for the, I'm just going to switch out to my Ninetales and get up my Sun, because this Sandstorm without leftovers is pretty annoying. But he's actually going to stay in, and he's going to fire off a Will-O-Wisp, which is pretty funny just because, yeah, my Ninetales basically is immune to that. So I actually decides to go for Will-O-Wisp, also trying to get residual damage with the Sand plus Life Orb, so that would actually wear my Venusaur down incredibly quickly. But now predicting the Surf, going to go out to my Tentacruel so I can start setting up my Toxic Spikes, because his team doesn't really have anything. He doesn't have a Spinner on his team, and the Jellicent I would love to be Toxic, because it's pretty damn annoying, and if I can get this thing Toxic, I could stall it out with a few of my guys, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm going to go for my second layer this turn. He's not going to want to stay in because this Jellicent is basically just not going to be able to do anything to my Tentacruel. And he's going to send his Cradily to be poisoned. Going to set up my second layer. Don't want to stay in and take a Seed Bomb or anything else that he really wants to fire out. So I'm going to switch out into my Reuniclus, as he's actually going to surprise me and fire off the Earthquake, which I wasn't expecting. But I'm predicting him to switch out here into his Jellicent again, predicting Focus Blast. So I'm actually just going to go for the Trick Room. And he actually decided to set up a Curse. And I figured it was a Curse variant, but I didn't think he'd want to start setting up so early in the match. But that's really not a big deal, because I can now just go for the Focus Blast and completely dominate this Cradily, because he is not going to be, because Sand's not up, he's not going to have the 1.5 special defense boost, and this Focus Blast, because my Reuniclus is Life Orb, is easily going to be able to take this thing out. So now he's going to go out to his Rotom on the switch. He's going to fire off a Volt Switch. I'm going to fire off Psychic. I thought this would do, I didn't think it would KO. I'm actually surprised how much that did. He must be completely offensive with no HP investment, because I think if he had some HP investment, that probably would have done maybe like 3/4. But he's going to go out to Skarmory. I'm just going to go for the Focus Blast. Going to end up missing. He's going to go for a Roost, which really sucks, because Focus Blast would have definitely taken this thing out. Like, definitely taken this thing out. So now I'm kind of pissed I missed Focus Blast, so I'm going to go for it again. Brings out, of course, that's extremely obvious play, so he's going to bring out his Jellicent, but that's fine because it's now Toxic. I'm going to be able to now next turn fire off a Shadow Ball, and predicting him to go for Taunt, which here he actually does. Because he had Will-O-Wisp, I knew he had Taunt, so going to go for the Shadow Ball. And the second Shadow Ball is really obvious, so I'm thinking he's going to switch out to Tyranitar to take it. So I'm actually going to predict him to switch out into the Tyranitar and go for the Focus Blast. And he actually ends up doing that. So he switches out. I see Tyranitar come in. I'm like, yes, I got to kill this thing. Might win the Weather War. And I, obviously, because Focus Blast sucks, spoiler alert, after all these After Effects come up, I miss Focus Blast. Which really sucks, because that was a huge problem. Now, this Tyranitar gets a DD up, and I'm like, crap. I predicted him not to go for Pursuit or Crunch, so I decided to go for Focus Blast, and of course I miss. So I was like, damn it. Now I know he's DD. I need to send out Ninetales so I can get my son up as Death Fodder, so this Tyranitar doesn't absolutely sweep my team. That's why those misses really sucked. But now just going to send out my Venusaur. Because the sun is up, I am going to be faster than it. I can take it out with an Energy Ball. He knows this. He's going to switch out, go out into his Jellicent, basically as fodder. And that's fine. This Jellicent was basically the one thing that was stopping me from spamming close combat with my Terrakion. So that's perfectly okay with me. He's now going to go out into his Skarmory. And he was thinking he could Life Orb stall me, but I do have the HP Fire. And this is going to do a ton of damage. If he didn't have Sturdy, it would have been a straight up 1-hit KO. And he was really shocked by this, but you have to remember that in the sun, Venusaur technically does have a stab HP Fire, making it a 105 base power move, which is pretty strong coming off of modest Life Orb Venusaur. So, gonna be an easy 2-hit KO now. I'm gonna play it safe, just fire off a second HP Fire. He's gonna know this, switch out, go out into his Tyranitar. And that means he is gonna win the Weather War, so he's probably just gonna follow this thing out. I don't really care. I'm just gonna go for the Energy Ball after this turn, take out the Tyranitar, and it's gonna suck that he's gonna have Sand up, but honestly, Venusaur is the only thing on my team that requires Sand to function. Everything else is kind of independent of Sun. But yeah, Venusaur is going to get the Energy Ball. Crit obviously didn't matter, and I'm actually going to live at 2 HP after Sandstorm, which is pretty funny. 6 HP. Going to go out to Rotom. I can't switch, just going to fire off an Energy Ball, and here I find out I'm faster. So that really confused me. At this point I was thinking he was Scarfed, and now I know he's not. So now I'm thinking maybe that his Terrakion is Scarfed, because he doesn't have a Scarf. But actually, I completely forgot that this thing existed. I brought out Heatran, predicting Skarmory, and yeah, I'm going to protect, thinking he's Choice Lock, going to see what he wants to do. And here I'm going to gauge what kind of set it is. Reuniclus really can't do too much anymore, especially if it's Choice Banded, because it gets one-shotted. So I'm going to switch out, go out into my Reuniclus, just to gauge what kind of set this is. I have 0 defense investment. And that damage tells me that this thing is Choice Scarf, which really sucks. I would have much rather had this thing be banded, but whatever. He's gonna kill me off with the second close combat, and now I'm in a little bit of trouble. Although Toxic is starting to rack up, I really don't have too many checks for this thing. I am gonna go out into my Tentacruel, knowing I can take one close combat. Gonna fire off a Scald, hopefully burn the incoming obvious Skarmory switch. Of course it doesn't happen. I never get lucky with Scald, ever. Especially when I need it. Especially after those Focus Blast missed, all I really wanted was Scald to burn. Thinking maybe it could KO at this point, just going to fire off a second Scald. I probably should have switched down to Heatran. I was also banking on the fact that I could get the burn, and didn't really work out for me. That's not going to do too much. So here I'm going to switch out. I'm going to go out into my Heatran, because Heatran absolutely walls the crap out of Skarmory. Fire off a Lava Plume. Won't switch into Terrakion, that's fine. I could just protect to get up an extra turn of toxic damage on it, and then switch out the Tentacruel as Death Fodder, yada yada yada. And yeah, so he's going to go for a Roost. Obvious play is obvious. I'm just going to fire off a Lava Plume. He is I'm still hoping for a burn, because if I get the Lava Plume, I just one-shot this freaking Skarmory. And go for Lava Plume. Spoiler alert, I'm not going to get the burn. But I'm going to bring him down to well, obviously 1 HP. Crit didn't matter, obviously. It's a freaking Heatran. He's going to Whirlwind me out. I'm going to go out into my Terrakion. And I know he's Scarfed at this point. So I'm thinking I need to Quick Attack, because I need to get some extra damage in on this Terrakion. Quick Attack does not freaking take out a Skarmory with 6%. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's Choice Band and Terrakion. And luckily he goes for Brave Bird. But I mean, if he roosted, I could Scum back out into a Heatran, but still, that's so annoying. Like, really? Quick Attack is going to get a little bit of damage on, which is fine, and Terrakion's going to take me out to close combat. He was wondering why I did that, but I told him that I have... the game's basically over now, because I got that extra damage on Terrakion, I could Protect stall him out with my 2 remaining guys. So, going to go out to Tentacruel. Going to fire off Protect to get off the little extra toxic damage, and then next turn he's just going to kill me. And then following that, what's going to happen is going to go out to Heatran and Protect, and he's going to die to Toxic. So, that was a great game, Cote. If you guys like the battle, you know, click that little like button for PMP main. If you guys like my commentary, feel free to check out my channel. I actually am going to be uploading the finals of a tournament battle that I had on Smogon. It's called the Dreamy Dream World Tournament. Ended up winning, which is really cool. But anyway, rambling is rambling. If you guys like me, just leave a comment, and hopefully I'll be bringing another battle for you guys soon. So that's going to be it for today. Peace out, guys. Mike Deck is out of here. Hope you enjoyed, and later.